So, what I love about just what you said was that there is a balance, there's a rhythm, and it's a personal rhythm and balance. And I'd love to learn just how you find that. The whole idea of towing capacity too. It's not that you don't want to overbear your capacity, but you don't want to underbear either. It's a stewardship issue. You want to take the boat. Yeah. You know, same thing with the Allegro thing. So how do you know your Allegro? Yeah.
And I think that if you're married, God's primary voice is through your spouse. And my wife happens to be a licensed marriage family therapist.
That helps.
And that helps a lot.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And she just did her doctorate in ministry at Fuller, and I'm so proud of her. Wow. But we co-pastor. So that has created some other areas where we have to set boundaries because we're in the office together, and she's pretty passionate herself. But it's been really through trial and error that I've learned my rhythm, and just like recreation, what recreates you? I've had to experiment with several things, and I've had to go outside my comfort zone in terms of saying, I don't really want to take this much time, but I need this much time. And then watch my capacity go up when I did take more time than I was really comfortable taking. And then just my accountability circle speaking into my life, like you were saying, folks begin to see, hey, you're going too fast, Larry. What are you going to do to pace yourself? And it is personal rhythm. It really is. And there are seasons, like I was saying. Right now I'm running harder because all my girls are growing, and Deb's right there next to me, and we're running a little harder than we did when they were younger, you know.
All right, so I'll throw something out, maybe a little controversial. You ready? Y'all ready to argue? I don't believe in balance.
I believe in tension.
I don't believe balance is biblical. I don't think Jesus was balanced. I think the story you read earlier, talked about earlier, is just great evidence of that. I think the Bible, balance is trying to do everything equal at the same time. It's like spinning plates, and there's always one crashing when you're doing that. I don't think it's possible. I've never met a balanced person, but I think the Bible actually advocates the idea of rhythm. 6 days of intensity, followed by 1 day of rest. By the way, we invented the 40-hour work week. Yeah. Old Testament, it was sun up to sundown, 6 days a week. Do the math. That's a 72-hour work week. That's the average pastor's work week, I imagine, maybe on the low side. But the difference was every 7 days, they didn't even cook a meal. Rest, 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 rest. So I actually, in seasons, the seasons that God's created, also kind of talk about this, point and symbolize this idea of rhythm. So in our ministries, what I've tried to do is build in my life all these personal rhythms. And in our church calendar, there are seasons. You're not going to work 40 hours a week the week before Easter and Christmas. You're just not. And the fall kickoff and the new year. I mean, you're going to do 70 or 80 hours a week. You just are. You should be probably, because the fields are ripened to harvest. But then you've got to follow each season, with a period of rest. I think that's true daily. I think it's true weekly. I think it's true quarterly. I think it's true annually. That's why I believe in a sabbatical, a little bit extended time away. Because nobody, I understand the tension we all feel. I feel the same thing you do about taking 2 or 3 weeks in a vacation in a row. Nobody in our churches does that. But I truly don't think anybody else bears the emotional or spiritual load, even the workload.
And I totally agree with you about balance. It's one of my wife's favorite sayings is there's no such thing as balance, but you have to have pacing and rhythm. And I tend to chop my week up into 21 days. Every day is 3 days actually. And so out of those 3 days, you've got I've got my 6 to 12 slot and my 12 to 6 slot and my 6 to 10:30 slot. So I have 3 days. And out of those 3 days, I try and take at least one to focus on those, either the inner area or the relational area, or both, a combination of both, so that in this rhythm there's one of those. And if I do have to go like a 6 or 9 of those slots in a row, then I get 2 or 3 slots on the end of that kind of help make up for that.
That's great.